The high street crisis continues. With these store closures, high street shops and business will never be the same again. Is it the internet? Is it terrorism? Is it different spending habits of consumers? Let's find out who's next in this bricks and mortar beatdown. Next on Raheem Reports. Let's turn this fan off quickly and get on with this. There's two stories I want to look at in this part of the news article, the news report. One's by Sky News, the other's by the Daily Mirror online. Now, Pound World, in reverse order, we'll do the other one first in a minute. We have one of those stores around the corner, and that one's closing down as well. I got some video footage which I'll show later on in this presentation. Let's begin with a store I've never heard of because I do not eat out. It's called Gaucho. 1,500 jobs at risk as Gaucho collapse deepens high street crisis. The troubled restaurant group could formally appoint administrators as early as Wednesday afternoon, Sky News learns. The crisis, and this is, let me just give credit, by Mark Kleinman, city editor for Sky News. Thank you, Mark. The crisis engulfing Britain's high streets will deepen on Wednesday when Gaucho, the steak restaurant chain, crashes into administration after its lenders opted not to pursue a rescue deal. Sky News has learnt that the company, which employs about 1,500 people, has filed a notice of intention to appoint Deloitte as its administrator. While that gives it up to 10 days breathing space from creditors, sources close to the company said it could fall into administration as soon as Wednesday afternoon. The decision will come weeks after weeks of talks about a sale to new investors, with the restaurant entrepreneur Hugh Osmond among those who examined a potential deal. However, insiders said the failure of Gaucho's lending syndicate to unanimously back any of the proposals had made the company's insolvency inevitable. No cooperation on the inside. Tisk tisk. The plunge into administration is the latest grim news to affect a prominent brand trading on the high street, with Toys R Us, UK, Maplin and Pound World. Now, Maplin, I did a video of, that will be uploaded later on. That was pretty entertaining. Not the closure of Maplin, even though I don't really like Maplin, but you'll see why in the video. And Pound World, we got one round the corner. And funnily enough, that Pound World replaced another one of those £1 stores. But when you go in there, as you'll see later in the video, they have items that are not for £1, which is always disheartening. All have called in administrators this year with the loss of thousands of jobs. Carluccio's is among restaurant chains to have hit financial hurdles this year. Sources said they expected the Gaucho chain of restaurants with 16 outlets to emerge as a viable business, quote unquote, from the administration. Although the loss-making CAU branded chain is likely to close. Sky News revealed late last week that Gaucho was racing to find new investment to pay a 7-figure tax bill, with Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, HMRC, now facing the prospect of that demand being unmet. In a statement issued in response to an inquiry from Sky News, a Gaucho spokesman said, "Despite an extensive options process which attracted proposals from a number of parties, it is with regret that due to the complexities of the group's legal structure, ongoing underperformance at CAU, and the level of indebtedness, the directors have been unable to find an agreed solvent solution. Consequently, the directors have today filed in court a notice of intention to appoint an administrator for the business. Until such time as the administrator has been appointed and agreed plans with management, it is business as usual." Details of the rescue proposals remain patchy, although none of the 4 known suitors, number 1, Osmond Capital, number 2, Core Capital, which is owned by ESO Capital, number 3, Limestone Capital, and the current owner, number 4, Equistone, offered to pay close to the £50 million owed by Gaucho to its banks. Nobody wants to take on board that loss because it's not making any money. Under the management team's proposals, the Gaucho chain would have continued to operate while CAU would, if approved by creditors, close through a mechanism called a Company Voluntary Arrangement, CVA. The slump to the brink of administration has come after CAU saw double-digit declines in like-for-like revenues, with over-expansion, mean they don't have the money or cash flow to be moving into different areas to expand their business. Poor site selection, that's the inability to have the intelligence, literally, from the ground up to see whether or not this neighborhood will profit the business, and onerous lease agreements or arrangements among the factors now contributing to Gaucho's financial difficulty. So the rent's going up, instead they're still buying properties. There is a less pleasant title for that. Gaucho recently appointed a new management team in an attempt to stabilize its financial performance, although it has limited experience of the restaurant sector. The company's founder, Zeev Godik, stepped down several months ago. Let's see briefly more from business. Google hit with 3.8 billion fine by EU for abusing control of Android OS. Now, Google's a big company, so maybe 3.8 billion is like, for us, that would probably be like 1-2 million. Brexit may mean dairy products become luxury items, food firm warns. That's not bad, because we should be cutting out dairy unless we're the ones with the animals, because then we can see exactly what goes into the feed, which is mostly those chemicals that are messing up our system. Elon Musk apologizes for calling British cave diver a pedo. He apologized, but does that mean it's untrue? Pound at 10-month low as inflation holds steady at 2.4% in June. Always propping up these percentages, it's over, man. EasyJet raises profit horizon despite cost of strike turbulence. I think they're the next one to go. Airbus says Brexit puts at risk its 40 years of success. Here's the thing. Where was your savings plan for the business? You're in business for 40 years. You'd think you'd have one. Gaucho now joins rival casual dining chains such as Byron, Carluccio's, Cote, and Prezzo, all of which have cut significant numbers of jobs this year. A combination of rising costs and more cautious consumer sentiment has hit casual dining businesses, while retailers including Carpetright, Marks & Spencer, Mothercare, and New Look have announced plans to close scores of shops. I remember there was a Carpetright in High Road, right opposite where the Maplin is closing down. They closed that store down. They're going to close down some more now as well. Any comments? No. Okay, let's close this down and move on to our main article, which is Pound World. I went out and shot video for this, so I'm excited. I get to display it, and I took it on the iPhone 5S. Pound World announces 80 more stores are closing with 1,024 job losses. The full list. Shops will start closing in 7 days, and that's on top of the 25 that are closing on Sunday. Well, for all those people that are losing your jobs, as I said in another report, you know what? This is the best time to now get into your own business. You got nothing but time on your hands. Go and sign on for about 6 months and use that 6 months to set up your business and start trading. You want cash in hand? Then go and do some manual labor. But if you want to do something like what I'm doing, it's going to take a few years, but now's the time to get started. Because in a few years, when you look back, you could have had some traction in your business, got your subscriber numbers up, and started selling to customers something worthwhile to help them in their lives as well. And this new story is brought to you courtesy of the Mirror by Emma Munbod, personal finance correspondent, and James Andrews, money editor. Pound World, everything £1. When you see the video, you'll find out that's false advertising. That's just not true. Administrators to retailer Pound World are to close 80 more stores next week, on top of the 25 announced earlier this week. The latest move will cost 1,024 jobs, but leaves 230 stores still trading. The stores will start closing on Friday 20th July and will run until Sunday 22nd July. Whilst we remain hopeful that a sale for part or parts of the business can still happen, yeah mate, I'll buy some of your chairs and your pencils, it has not been possible to sell the business as a whole. See, that's one of the common factors with these businesses. If they're not doing too well and they're like a dinosaur in a bathtub, that dinosaur gotta go. We'll keep the bathtub. We're not buying it. Nobody wants it. Claire Boardman, joint administrator, said, "We would like to thank all the employees for their continued support and commitment during this difficult time. We are keeping staff appraised of developments as they happen." Administrators, Deloitte, said the decision to close these stores will not impact on the potential sale of the rest of the business, which is a lie, because when it's like someone getting cancer and you cut out a piece of it, you're always going to have an issue with therapy afterwards, especially if you take that central nervous system murdering chemotherapy. You're always going to have an issue with the rest of your body. So this business has become a cancer, an unprofitable dinosaur, and it will affect. You see, I'm going to show you later on in the article how they just barefaced lie. That's what these public relations do. They're professional liars. Pound World to start closing down sales today across 355 stores after axing 100 jobs. Full list of Pound World stores closing next week. Let's read them. Aberdeen, Banbury, Bexley Heath, Birkenhead, Blackburn, Bloxwich, Blythe, Bolton, Bootle, Bradford, Bristol, Bude, Burton-upon-Trent, Canterbury, Cardiff, Chelmsford, Chester, Corby, Coventry, Cramlington, Dagenham, that's the one round the corner, Darlington, Dewsbury, Fleet, Fulham, Gateshead, Glasgow, Gloucester, Greenock, Grimsby, Harlow, Harrogate, Havant, Hinckley, Huddersfield, Inverness, Yarrow, Kings Lynn, Kirkby, Leeds, Leicester, Liverpool, Livingston, Laneley, Linstrescent, London Archway, Manchester, Maryhill, Merthyr, Tilfield, Middlesbrough, Northampton, Norwich, Nottingham, Portsmouth, Rotherham, Seacroft, Selby, Sheffield, Shepherd's Bush, Shrewsbury, Slough, South Shields, Southport, St Albans, Stockbridge, Sunderland, Sutton, Swinton, Watford, Wood Green. High Street closures. We'll come back up and look at this in a minute. The latest closures follow Tuesday's announcement, meaning a total of 105 stores will be shut at a total cost of 1,266 jobs. US private equity firm TPG acquired a majority stake in the business in 2015, but the company called in administrators Deloitte in June. Administrators said discussions are ongoing with various interested parties, quote unquote. Yeah, I'll have a look, but we're not buying it from you, mate. That's translation. For the remains of the business, including its head office and distribution center. Talks will take place in the coming days. The Pound World stores closing on July 15th. Doncaster, North Shields, Wakefield, Stretford, Sutton Coldfield, Ashton, Blackburn, Manchester Arndale, Denton, Derby Westfield, Nottingham Broadmarsh, Grays, which is in the other direction round the corner from Dagenham, Middlebrook, Chester, Newcastle Wallsend, Bradford Ivegate, Birmingham Crewe, Halifax, Liverpool, Belvale, bloody hell, all over the country, Loughborough, Ipswich, Carmarthen, Dumfries and Hyde. Poundworld confirms its acts 100 head office jobs a week after entering administration. What's that? Insects. It's summertime, as you can tell. As the quest to find a buyer continues, Poundworld also launched a closing down sale last month, despite denying any branches were actually being axed. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Professional liars. That's what they are. These public relations, con artists and professional liars. I mean, look how the scriptwriters for former Prime Minister Tony Blair convinced the nation that it was a good thing to go into somebody else's country and destroy it because it could have attacked England in the next 15-20 minutes. Wait a second. Didn't their American allies say that? Anything could happen in the next half hour. I'm sure it was a line ripped off of one of those Super Mario Nation, Gerald Anderson, Captain Scarlet, Muppet movies. They're Muppets. The retail trading environment in the UK remains extremely challenging, and Poundworld has been seeking to address this through Jerry Anderson. That's his name. Poundworld has been seeking to address this through a restructure of its business, said Claire Boardman, joint administrator. I'm not going to read this because I read that again. I read it earlier. Struggling Poundworld joins a long list of firms that have announced closures, redundancies, and rent negotiations. There's a clue. These landlords, these greedy landlords, and their ever-hiking rent agreements, putting people out of business. They're also putting people out of houses. You can't afford to pay the rent, you gotta go. Now here's the thing. You're gonna leave that property. You would rather be such an inhumane bugger to leave people homeless that can't afford to pay the rent they used to be able to afford to pay until you put the prices up. Oh, it's not your problem. Yes, it is. You're the one that is manipulating this. And those rooms are going to stay empty while you stay rich and people stay homeless or move on. These are not the type of people that deserve anything. Not a round of applause or a polite conversation. It follows a poor Christmas trading period that left many retailers just about breaking even. Another story. Inside Poundworld's founder's luxury mansion that he bought in cash. Chris Edwards sold the business in 2015 for £150 million to a private equity group, but is now interested in buying back 200 plus of its 335 stores. Here's the thing, Chris. Don't waste your money. Go into something else. Go into online business. Go into storage auction warehouses. Because that would be the only reason I would buy back the business, is to use up all that space to employ former employees that know how the business runs, retrain them, and have them run franchises off the back end of these storage auction warehouses. You could put cars in there, you could put phones in there, anything that comes out of these crates. There's an amazing bounty of products that people leave behind when they can't afford to keep up their current level of lifestyle. And let's take a quick look at these comments. Nanik says, everyone's being squeezed so tightly now, it's a joke. Everything's going up and up in price, yet it's all getting smaller. My nephew is a teacher and they have to feed some of the kids in the morning because they've ate nothing since dinner at school the day before. Nobody has any money whether you work or claim benefits. Everyone's skinned. Yes, except for the robber barons and landlords and the elite Satanists. They're baby eaters. Not good for the high street, allegedly. Online shopping has a lot to do with this. That's the Mirror is the best. News reading daddy says, Rochdale one is going too. That's not on your list. Warner B says they used to be the only store surviving. Now they're going too. Yes. Spike 1999 says, yeah, which Pound World in Birmingham? It's as bad as saying Pound World closing in London. Let's look at a couple more comments. You have mentioned Sutton Coldfield and Coventry, but still. Okay, and Adam Mind Your Own says Liverpool, Belle Vale. Let's see, Boots to launch. Okay. They're launching a cheap version of their products. See, their Boots seem to be doing okay. For now, they seem to be diversifying. Because they're doing what? They're launching a number 7 beauty vault where shoppers can get makeup bundle worth £99 for only £30. High street closures. House of Fraser, Pound World, Mothercare, New Look to shut 60 UK stores. Prezzo to close 94 restaurants. M&S closed 14 stores. Carphone Warehouse, I think that was that billionaire who's got his own helicopter. He sold that. Jamie's Italian closes 12 restaurants. Oh, even Jamie Oliver's on the list. But you know who I don't see on this list? What's the guy's name? Gordon Ramsay. I don't see him on this list. He seems to be doing quite well. We'll see if he turns up on this list within the upcoming months or years. Thank you for watching. And remember, as always, share this story with as many people as you possibly can, in as many places as you can. I have no problem with my videos being reposted. Just, give me the credit. Anything else? No. Oh yeah, one more thing. Free news, baby.